While there are almost always enough officials at varsity events, there is currently a nationwide shortage of officials in many different sports.
This shortage especially hurts JV and middle school competition, as some schools resort to officiating their own games. This leads to much conflict with the opposing team.
This issue is especially problematic in Section 1, the lower Hudson Valley area of New York State, which Rye currently competes in. One of the roots of this problem is the way officials get treated during their games.
For a much deeper look on this issue, the Garnet Insider team interviewed coaches, players, and athletic director of Rye, Rob Castagna, on his view. Think back to the last time you attended a sports event. Chances are that at some point in that event, the officials were being harassed by an angry coach or parent. Were you that parent? Do you give officials the respect that they deserve? Well, you better listen closely, because Garnet Insider investigated a problem that many people are ignorant of, the severe shortage of officials, especially in soccer. According to a recent survey by the National Association of Sports Officials, there is an 86% shortage of soccer referees nationwide. As written by the San Francisco Soccer Referee Association, the single greatest problem facing the game of soccer at all levels is the shortage of qualified officials. The single cause of the shortage in Rye and every other soccer field in the United States is abuse from spectators and coaches. Proof of this is that 22 to 40% of soccer refs do not re-register after their first year on the field. They've simply realized that it isn't worth it. And Rye and New York State have taken action to recruit and retain officials. The Westchester Association is running a free clinic to attract members and has lowered the age requirement to 16. New York State has signed a bill dating back to 1997 to criminalize abusive behavior. As reported in the New York Times, the bill made the injuring of a sports official a second-degree assault and a possible 7-year sentence. The problem is that while even spitting at a referee is a possible 3-month sentence in jail, parents often get away with verbally harassing refs and getting in their faces. If coaches exhibit this behavior, they can get suspended. But what kind of punishment can be levied on a parent? The bottom line is that parents must set a good example, especially for their kids. Often, kids will see parents yelling at referees, and they learn that this is an acceptable way to act. Referees' pay has increased, but many do not do it for the money. They do it for the love of the game. This makes the solution to the problem in the hands of you, the spectators at each game. Boys varsity soccer coach Jared Small talked about the appropriate way to act at a sports contest.
Yeah, I think soccer is one of those sports where people who come are really passionate about watching it. So even though we don't get the biggest crowds on the weekdays, when we have some of the weekend games and a lot of people come out, you know, fans know soccer, they like soccer, they see in the World Cup where players argue and coaches argue, and I guess they think it's appropriate to do that. But really, I try to take the attitude that players make mistakes, coaches make mistakes, and officials make mistakes. So it really isn't too helpful to berate officials. Generally, fans should just be there to enjoy, and whether we score, whether the opponent scores, just to enjoy the game, you know, enjoy watching your children play or your friends play, and really try to just not even pay attention to the officials. They say a well-officiated game is one in which you know the officials aren't even there, don't even realize that they're there. So I think, in general, just enjoying the game and not wondering whether the officials made a difference or not is the key.
Rye Athletic Director Rob Castagna also talked about the root of the problem. Why is this shortage of soccer officials such a problem today?
Well, unfortunately, we are faced with this problem, and it's a problem because when we have a contest, we rely on the official to ensure that the rules are followed during the contest, during the time of play. Without an official there, present at the contest, it's obviously very difficult to manage a contest and make sure that it is played fairly. So we rely on the officials for certain things, and when they're not there, there really is no official contest. We can't play the official without the contest. And the number one reason why they no longer officiate is because of poor sportsmanship by spectators. And that's a strong statement, one that we need to really look into. And I would recommend that anyone who attends a contest, whether it's inside a gymnasium, inside an arena, or outside on an athletic field, that they respect the judgment of the officials. Are officials perfect? No. They're just like me. They're just like you. We make mistakes. They make mistakes every day. And people have to be understanding of that, and that they need to respect the officials' calls, and that they're out there making the call. And that's something that all spectators can do, is to show some respect for them, for the job that they're doing, because we need them, and there is a shortage.
Put yourself in a referee's position next time you think they made a bad call. They're doing the best they can, and they're not rooting against your team. Go to a game to enjoy it, and when the game's over, don't blame it on the refs. If that's the case, it's not bad officiating, it's bad parenting. And indeed, this is a major issue, proved by Rice's recent campaign to recruit officials. The problem even goes to the collegiate level, which officials are hard to come by.
Speaking of college sports, if there are any athletes thinking of playing at the collegiate level, the time to prepare is now. To register, just log on to the NCAA Clearinghouse online website. Just visit www.ncaaclearinghouse.net. If you have any questions regarding the application process, see Athletic Director Rob Castagna or Guidance Counselor Mr. Lobakowski. Well, I hope you enjoyed the second edition of Garnet Insider. From the Garnet Insider crew and Rye TV, that's a wrap.